Hello, everybody. We are back. Your favorite bounty hunters here, Henry and Logan over there to my left.
Pew,
How you doing,
pew,
mate? You ready to
pew,
talk about Disney
pew.
Plus's Bad Batch?
I
Pew
was
pew.
I was born ready.
You were born ready. You were born in the darkness.
I was born in the galaxy far, far away. But anyways, the Wild Bounty Hunters are back. We've been talking the Bad Batch, the first three episodes, having a great time with the series thus far, starting on May the 4th. Each episode's completely different, but the writing gets better and better. I feel like throughout this season. In episode 4, it's titled Cornered. And this time around, we have the Bad Batch stopping to get some supplies in a planet called Pantora, and they're looking to get some fuel and some food. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Give me that which I desire. Ugh.
Yeah. But yeah,
It
that's just
seems like in the show so far, they always have to stop for supplies and to like fix their ship. It's like a lot of redundancy in the Star Wars universe.
yeah. Well, I mean they
Yeah.
do fly pretty far from one place
Yeah.
to the next, but yeah, their ships always break down and shit, and end up in this like scenario or situation, like some sort of creature or bad or a villain or something, and they have to get out of there. That's pretty much the setup of this episode as well. They land trying to find some fuel and some food. They're starving. They're like hangry dads on a long road trip. They haven't eaten in 6 hours. You start getting all pissed off at each other. So they stop there, and this guy, is asking for money to help them out because they're on the go, and the Empire's on the lookout for him essentially, and he ends up hitting up a bounty hunter and telling the bounty hunter that we're familiar with from the Mandalorian, telling them about Omega, and she's on the track for young Omega.
Yeah, so their ship is being tracked. The Empire is aware of its whereabouts, and they are going to send this bounty hunter to go find Omega. Now that they know where the ship is, they can track Omega, and they send somebody that we know from the Mandalorian universe, who isn't named in the episode, but you can figure it out who it is. They look similar. She looks similar to her character in the Mandalorian, and we're talking about Fennec Shand,
Yep.
the played by what's the lady's name? It's
Ming Na
the
Wen.
yes, played by Ming Na Wen from the Mandalorian that we saw obviously in this second season that just aired of the Mandalorian. So she is looking for Omega. There's a bounty on Omega. We don't know why. We don't really have any answers yet. We don't. She's Fennec Shand isn't even named in this episode, but yes, she finds out where they are. They have stopped on this planet, which reminded me of Pantera, but
Pantora.
it's Pantora. So they're on this planet, and Fennec Shan is able to kind of track them down when they're out on the planet looking for food. And obviously, they're trying to take out the tracking device from the ship so they can't be tracked anymore. Fennec Shan's able to locate Omega, and this episode is mostly about having to rescue Omega from Fennec Shan because Fennec Shan's going after her pretty hard and wants to take her for the bounty.
For the bounty, make some coin there. And another key part of this episode, we have Echo. He's kind of one of the Bad Batch that has a robotic arm. He's the one that kind of makes them blend in to Pantora, which is kind of cool. The rest of them kind of stick out like a sore thumb, but he kind of blends in. And intricate part, I guess, of this episode, and see more, I guess, of the other characters besides Hunter and Omega. You're also seeing more of the other Bad Batch, which I had a good time with.
Usually the focus is on Hunter and Omega, but yeah, we got to see Wrecker more in this episode. And what's his name, Tech. We're able to see their expertise. They're not just part of the gang going along. Each of them has their specific duties that they do really well, and those are on display in this episode. And yeah, basically they're going to have to keep Omega away from Fennec Shan. Fennec Shan's able to corner her. Obviously, this episode's called Cornered, so she's able to corner Omega. And you think that maybe Fennec Shan's going to get away and be able to take Omega, but the Bad Batch and Hunter, Tech, and Wrecker are able to rescue Omega and not let her get away. And they're able to leave this planet by the time the episode's finished. So Yeah, now we have another major player in this episode with Fennec Shand. We don't have any answers about her, so moving forward throughout the season, we're gonna see her again pop up. Obviously, she's still going to be trying to track Omega and bring her back, and we'll hopefully get some answers on who put out the bounty and why they won her. And it's obviously we know that Omega is of the utmost importance, and this is another clue here with Fennec Shand trying to come and get her that obviously Omega is something special that people want to get their hands on. So
Is it going to be like what they're going to do, what they did with the Mandalorian with Grogu, having to do like the Jedi or something like that? You know what I mean? Like I could see them going that route, like Omega.
it definitely seems, yeah, it's familiar with the Mandalorian and what happened. It's obviously very relevant to the Grogu kind of thing. It feels very similar to that so far, so we'll see where it leads to. But yeah, definitely Omega, there's something there that's obviously very special, with everybody always trying to come and get her, take her away from the Bad Batch.
And there's two, key players of the bad people that are kind of after the Bad Batch, and Omega being Fennec Shand, as you're saying, and then also the Empire. So, they really got to watch her backs. So I think Omega, they're going to iron her character out more. She's going to have a bigger part to this puzzle, much like Grogu did in 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. I think it's going to tie in some way to the Jedi. I think that would be really great. But this episode 4, I had a great time with it. Get more of the characters, get more of the backstories and things like that. The other players in the Bad Batch besides Hunter and Omega. Fennec Shand returning. We're familiar with her from the Mandalorian, but I liked how she was set up being the bounty hunter after Omega. Really cool scene in this episode of her trying to chase down and get Omega, and then Hunter shows up and it's like a big fight, and a really cool scene, and them getting away and showing that, this is not the last time we're going to see this character. She's going to show up again and try to track down Omega. But with that being said, I thought the story was pretty good. Not the best episode of the season thus far. Not as good as the last one. That one was pretty dark. But I had a good time with it. So I'll give episode 4 of The Bad Batch a 3.5 out of 5 Omega hair pieces.
I really enjoyed the episode too. Not as strong as the last one, but still it's pushing the story forward. We're learning a little bit more each and every episode, and with it being shorter episodes and more episodes, it's a little bit of a slow burn, but that's okay. We're getting to know these characters slowly but surely. We're finding out more about Omega. I'm sure we're going to get more of her backstory coming in pretty soon, probably, because we're going to have to figure out why everybody thinks she's so special, and we're going to have to figure out why Fennec Shand is now. We're seeing her now coming over, obviously, from the Mandalorian, her character. So we're going to get some backstory with her too. That being said, I enjoyed the episode. It had some cool action scenes in it as well that kept you on the edge of your seats, and some good moments with the rest of the Bad Batch from some of the, not just Hunter. Hunter's been the focus, but we got to see more of Wrecker. And yeah, Echo. I call him Tech. I don't know why. I think there are a couple cameos. I think the guy, when they first landed in Pantora, the creature there, Taron Killam, I think his name is Killam.
Killam,
the SNL guy, yeah. And then not Beck Bennett, but another SNL star. I can't remember, but he played another creature on there. So yeah, pay attention to the voice work on the show. They always drop in cameos from, well-known actors and, SNL stars and things like that. I'm going to give this episode a 3 out of 5 Galaxy hair pieces.
Whoa, that was a pretty intense hairpiece there, bud.
It hit hyperspeed.
And that being said, we're going to keep on with this momentum. We're going to be back each week talking about the Bad Batch. We love the show thus far. With Henry not seeing the Clone Wars and me seeing the Clone Wars and being a huge fan of that, it's cool seeing 2 different perspectives or viewpoints of this series. One being familiar with the source material, one brand new, so it's cool gathering our thoughts and talking about it each week.
It makes it easier for me to understand everything when I can talk to you about it too, because you see things that I don't and remember things that I don't, and vice versa. So between the two of us and talking about it, I feel like we covered the episode pretty well. And each week, moving to the next episode, it's easier to understand and remember
Yeah.
where we are in the story and moving forward, like what's happening and everything. So really enjoying reviewing the Bad Batch with you, and I can't wait to see the next episode. We've got a batch more of the Bad Batch to come, so stay tuned every week as me and Uncle Logan here, and occasionally Uncle Steve will come in. He'll be asking for a beer here soon, so we better wrap this up. He's getting pretty anxious, and he doesn't let me go to bed without bringing him a new 6-pack every night. So he's out in the shed right now.
He's probably pretty thirsty. It's pretty humid out right now, so go make sure you feed Uncle Steve some brewskis and make sure he blacks out again in the shed.
It's like the gremlins, you're not supposed to feed them after midnight, but in this case, you need to give Uncle Steve a beer at all points in the day. He can never run out. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to find out what happens. And you always have to leave the shed locked at all times.
Anyways, we got more content coming your way right here on our YouTube channel. We just recorded our podcast with the whole Cinephellas crew last night, episode 115. We got more reviews, interviews, and podcasts coming as well on our YouTube channel, website, and social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's a tongue twister, Henry. This is Uncle Logan, Uncle Henry signing out until the next Bad Batch review. Cheers!
Cheers!